I think I found the coolest model of Air Force One. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, you might know Air Force One. It's actually not the name of a specific plane. It's just the name of any Air Force plane that the president happens to be on. And I've always been enamored with it. It's kind of an iconic airplane. You can kind of see it peeking through this window here. But I bought this because it is a model of Air Force One in all its majesty. But this one has a little special secret. And I'm going to show it to you once we get this thing unboxed. So, first of all, I think it came from overseas. It took a little while to get here. It says aircraft model on the side here. There's really no brand names or anything like that. This thing was about $100, and you would think, hey, for an airplane model, that's kind of expensive. But like I said, this is no ordinary model. So as expected, we're gonna have to do a little assembling here. But this thing is actually pretty big. I thought it's like 1/100 scale. I might be wrong about that. But first of all, we get stuff sorted here. We get the base, and this is actually some sort of like light alloy. It's a metal with a pin there. The airplane will sit on the top. We have what looks like a wooden base. It's got some weight, but I think it's kind of like a Bakelite, a plastic, and it's kind of that rich cherry finish. And then we have a little foam pad underneath here. You can see how big it is. So that'll hold the plane. We also have, I think the wheels are supposed to be in these little slots here, but they are separated. So we do have landing gear. And then we have the airplane itself wrapped in a little foam here. So I'm just gonna pull this out. And this is the plane. It's got some weight to it. And like I said, the surprise here means that there should be a little weight in it. Oh, it is, I think, one inaccuracy I can see right here is that they've used basically just like a 747 body, because there's two major problems. One, there isn't the refueling pod right here. So there should be a little hump on the current Air Force One. And I also think if you can look at this, you might see that this upper deck is very long. And I'm not going to know this, I'm not an aviation expert, but I think this is like a 747-8. And the actual current Air Force One planes are like a 747-2. And so the hump here is much more abrupt. It's shortened and it doesn't have this long flat space. It kind of curls back and curves back right away. So I do not think that this is the right model for it, but it looks pretty cool, huh? And it says United States of America on the side. This whole color scheme came from the JFK days. John F. Kennedy had a friend who was kind of one of the madmen of Wall Street, and he kind of picked this color scheme, especially this aquamarine up here in the baby blue. You know, it's an iconic plane. I think it's a very attractive plane. But I know that the plane is going to undergo some paint scheme changes, potentially. Depends on what future presidents do. And I can see that too. While I like this, and it's an iconic plane for me, the paint scheme doesn't really scream USA. So you can see here, the landing gear doors are open on the bottom. Like I said, it's got some weight. You can see where the little pin will go in for the stand, and then a little pin on the bottom, so we'll center it. We can put on the wheels right here. And then we do have like painted on doors and all that in the tail fin. All right. And what I can tell you is that they have little shapes on the top. So that is going to go into these pieces here. So it should be a little bit of an idiot-proof setup. So you can see that will fit in there. Mirror image of that one, so that'll go in there. This is the nose landing gear, and again, the pin can only go in one way. All right, so let's open up the rest of this, and here we have the wings. So aquamarine color surrounding the nacelles right there, pretty cool. Even the ducting inside is pretty cool looking. So we get two of those wings, and then we get two of the trailing wings in the back. Are they ailerons or something? In the front they'd be canards, not totally sure. So it doesn't look like you need any tools to put this thing together. There's a tab right there, and there's a slot right there, and the wing should go like this. It has a lot of resistance, so I don't think these things are going to fall out, but it does mean you could potentially take everything apart if you needed to. You can see the fit and finish is, you know, pretty good, but, you know, not collector quality model. Now we can actually put in these other wheels. They actually do go on the wings like I suspected, so cool. So now it looks like we have all the landing gear on there. Rear wings, tab A into slot B. I would say some of the molded pieces leave a little bit to be desired. what you can see here is that I'm having a little trouble putting this in here because this wing has a little bit more slope than the slot right there. So that might be okay. That actually might even be intentional, but I think it would look a little cleaner if that were fit all the way in there. Okay, so here it is. Woo! Get off my plane. So here it is. We can put it on the stand just like this. I think we have to take out this little pin right here. I think that's to screw it in. So if I put it up here to this middle hole, just like that, now I can put that screw back in there and make it like a permanent installation. I've probably teased you enough about this thing, but what I want to show you here is the special little surprise. Right here you can see there's a micro USB port right there and an on-off switch. And the reason is these little windows are transparent, and so I should be able to turn on a light inside and turn the plane on. Oh, looky at there. Even the cockpit has a little light in there. That is cool. Yeah, baby, that is cool. That is pretty sweet. And here's what it looks like in the dark. You can see all those lights lit up, including the cockpit there. Now, I will say, I think that the way they manufacture this is the whole fuselage is actually a clear plastic, and then they lay over the decal of the airplane because you can kind of see a little light bleeding through. But it is pretty cool, especially when you back up here, even at a distance, how all the lights are lit up. It's just kind of dramatic looking. So if you're a fan of Air Force One and want a model that lights up, check this out. I'll put a link to it in the description. Peter Von Panda, out.